The migrant crisis is just not affecting New York City and Chicago. It's affecting other countries outside the United States. There's Sweden, there's other countries in the European Union, and then there is, you guessed it, the UK. The United Kingdom is considered a developed nation, along with the United States and Canada and many of the other westernized countries that people really crave about. And the one good thing about being a developed nation is there are more opportunities. The bad thing is that you get people wanting to come in through any means necessary. And that is the problem with the UK right now. They have a lot of migrants, they left the European Union. And another thing too is, the UK isn't so big in landmass. And then with them leaving the European Union with Brexit, it's all made it worse. So now there's an issue. What do you do with these illegal migrants that have come into the country? Same issue Chicago's having, same issue Boston's having, and the like. Well, the UK just can't afford to keep these people there anymore. So they thought of doing something a little bit unconventional. Sending these migrants to Africa. Now, stop the show. We really don't know if these migrants came from Africa in the first place, but let's assume that some of them did. What would be the danger of them going to Africa? I'll let you think about that. But let's focus on what some of the whites are saying in Britain right now. There's even a migrant crisis happening a little bit in Australia, and Australia is far as hell. Listen to what this guy says about what's going on with Britain.
Let's talk now about the number of people which have been flowing into the country illegally, the migration issues as well on top of all of that. What's the latest in the UK?
Well, they still come. Another 800 young men without identification, without passports, without mobile phones arrived in the country on Saturday and Sunday. That continues. Legal migration is now running at 750,000 a year.
Wow.
These are numbers the likes of which we've never, ever seen. The country is, many parts of it are becoming literally unrecognisable from what they were 10, 20 years ago. And now we get some lefty think tank suggesting that maybe the Labour Party will give them all the vote. And that would be gerrymandering on the most humongous scale. I don't think the Labour Party would be stupid enough to do it, because in the short term it would damage them just way too much. But, you know, like Australia, America, and to some extent our country, you know, managed migration and the building of an integrated society where we share things in common, like a language, like an education, like a loyalty, a sense of history, all of that can work. But when you subsume the population with vast numbers of people from different cultures, don't be surprised that they all stick together and actually, far from integrating, develop utterly separate communities.
That's right. The UK doesn't look the same. It's unrecognizable because of all of the migrants coming to the UK. But there's an issue with this because there's another country affected by the migrants possibly coming from the UK.
In the nation of 100,000 welcomes, some think it's time to shut the door. Anti-immigrant camps like this one at Coolock, North Dublin, are springing up across the country.
Coolock's message is we don't want them here. We don't want them. End of story. The place is bad enough as it is. We have our own gangs and trouble going on that we can't sort out. So what do you think that's going to do? It's just going to put more of a strain.
How many people feel as strongly as you do to come and be part of a protest camp?
100% of the Coolock community stand behind us, as you can hear.
Irish government says 80% of asylum seekers here have come from the United Kingdom, sailing into Northern Ireland, then crossing the border to the Republic, part of the EU. And the threat of deportation to Rwanda is partly responsible, according to Ireland's foreign minister.
But clearly we've had an increase in the numbers coming UK to Northern Ireland and into the Republic. And it's fairly obvious that a Rwanda policy, if you're a person in a given situation in the UK, well then you don't want to go to Rwanda.
That country is Ireland, which is still in the European Union. Now, Brexit did occur, but the UK into Ireland it's still free entry. There's not really a border between the two. So the situation is a lot of the migrants don't want to go to Rwanda. So what are they going to do? They're going to flee into Ireland. But then let's rewind. Let's go back to the 1994 Rwanda genocide, probably the worst genocide in world history or modern history. Ever since 1994, it's been a stain on the country of Rwanda. Now, Rwanda has developed and it's changed a lot of its policies under the leadership of Paul Kagame. But here's what they're not talking about. The UK itself has always talked trash about the Rwandan government. They've criticized Rwanda for being a home of human rights abuses, that it's not safe there. Paul Kagame is a dictator and all of these things. So wait a minute, why are they now talking like this?
Our new migration and economic development partnership will mean that anyone entering the UK illegally, as well as those who have arrived illegally since January the 1st, may now be relocated to Rwanda.
That's right, they're changing their tunes, right? They want to go head on and send these people the hell away from there. And even they have one of their politicians, Mr. James Cleverly, showing up to Rwanda to sign a deal. He was only there for a few hours, but Mr. James Cleverly wants to get this deal signed so he can get these migrants to Rwanda as soon as possible. And he's willing to spend how much? Drum roll, please. $240 billion. This will be 240 million pounds for the migrants that shall be going there. But the concern is for the migrants. What they're saying is, listen, how are they going to be treated if they come to Rwanda? Will they be given a fair shot? Will things be okay with them? Will they get opportunities? Will they ever be returned back to their homeland of origin when they were migrants? So now here's Rwanda's opportunity to prove themselves on the world stage. This is why Paul Kagame is accepting the migrants there. They already have 135,000 migrants already, but this is a good opportunity for Paul Kagame to show people that, hey, listen, we are a great country now. We are better than before, and we want to be recognized in the world community as somebody that can handle such a situation. So far, he's shown that, hey, that Rwanda is a great ally in the world community. But here's what they're not asking. These migrants that are coming into Rwanda, what is their criminal background? Because people have said, listen, these migrants have showed up to the UK with no passport, no ID, with no cell phone. What about their ability to commit crimes in Rwanda? See, it's always about the migrants, but never about the people that you guys are paying to take these migrants in because you don't want them. Now, why don't you want these migrants? You don't want these migrants because you feel like they are not skilled. They are not skilled workers. We know that the UK would not pass up on the opportunity to have some NHS doctors that can work, or nurses, or people that can help the economy. You wouldn't let them go if that was the case because you could make money off of them, they can bring in tax revenue, and it's something great. But you don't want them there. So why are you acting as if you care about what's going to happen to them in Rwanda? The reality is we should care about what's going on with the Rwandan citizens. And as some of the opposition to Kagame have said, listen, we're still developing ourselves. We don't need to take in these people. We already have enough migrants as it is. Do we even have the facilities to host these people? I know that they're going to pay us to do it, but that money may not be worth what we're going to get. What if these people commit crimes and they commit all kind of things and have kids here? They could stretch the healthcare system, the education system, which we still have. That's pretty new. I get that side of the argument. I understand what Kagame's wanting to do, but I do understand what the citizens of Rwanda, some of the opposition, is talking about here. And again, there's a reason why the UK wants to get rid of these migrants and will pay somebody else to take them. And there's a really big reason why no other country wants to take these migrants, not even the poor countries. But I will get into that in another episode. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again. Another episode of Fair Use here on Kangana. I'm out.